V8, the big brother of it, but it never did.
Big brother.
It would have been like a 4.6 or 4.8 V8 diesel.
I had no idea. I was watching Flying Wrenches. He was talking about it. He was like, "Oh yeah, it was made for Jaguar first," and then I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
but
guy
you look
cracks
at it.
me up.
You look at it. Everything said FOMO Co all over it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
everything.
That's pretty funny. What is up, everybody?
What's up, Doc?
Soon to be everybody.
Jesus.
What's up, Doc? Let me get on my windows. Let me get my windows. Let me get my windows.
I didn't set mine up either.
Jeff.
Oh,
What
you
up?
think?
Evening. Ma'am. What is up? Welcome. Whose AC is stinking? Hello. Mine's stinking. And right over here, we're gonna talk about something that I'm gonna be making a video on. I haven't tried it. But apparently it's got some good not reviews, but good feedback, I guess. I don't know.
It's
King
viewed
Ranch.
positively in the community.
Yeah,
There
that's what
there
I
you
wanted.
go. There you
A
go.
lot of people can't stand. I just had a gentleman ask me. He's like, "Hey, is the pollen filter hard to get to on these trucks?" I'm like, "Oh no." I sent him the link to the video, and then I'm like, "Well, why are you changing it?" Because I know he's got low miles on this 22. He's like, "Oh, it stinks. It smells like mildew." I'm like, "Hold on, I got something coming. Let me. I just got it in the mail today, so I said, let me hook you up. We're gonna do a little cleansing. Hello, Mr. Zoodad, the Power Stroke Council. Hello. Get that nasty smell out and restore that interior non-funk. I mean, because I'm guilty. I don't shut my AC off before I let it
Gotta
dry
have
out.
AC to have it stink.
Right. Well, I mean.
That's that OBS life, huh?
I've got AC in the OBS. The Volkswagen does not have AC.
Dude, the Volkswagens that are showing up to the shop right now is insane.
Volkswagen.
It needs a
I'm glad-
compressor.
Just take your back window out, put in a sheet of plywood, and then stick a window unit in
With
there.
a freaking
Oh,
window
yeah.
unit in there.
Yeah.
What up, BP? And then everybody else, we know who we all are, but we have a newcomer tonight. This is Mr. Bruce. He is a channel member here, and he is a new owner, about a year into his Power Stroke, and he's got some highs, he's got some lows, but I think the overall gist of his ownership is he's digging it. We did some forescan.
Everybody like the new kid in class. Hi, bro.
Hi, Bruce.
Everyone.
Good thing we found his slider on the camera. We found that at last minute, so I was able to have everybody's face on here. So it is not the time for no AC. It's hot out there. Yes, it is just awful having no AC. But if you got the 260 air cooled, hope your window cranks down.
Down.
Monster GT 43 has got an AC question right off the rip here tonight. AC low side is normal to high. High side isn't reading at all. Compressor bed, high side is not reading at all.
If you're wait a second. If you're not getting a reading on your high side gauge, but you're getting a reading on your low side gauge, the first thing I do before I do anything is, because obviously we got reading here, as I'd be checking that port. I'd be checking your gauges and stuff first to make sure something's not malfunctioning there, because typically if your equipment is good, you should be getting a reading on the high side gauge, even if the high side is faulty, if the compressor is faulty. So there should be something there right off the rip. Your equipment seems like it's like, I'd be checking that first.
Yeah, because with it running and the compressor's faulty, the high side will be jumping all over the place. Like,
correct.
So even with static pressure, you should still have something on the high side.
And there's different ways a compressor can fail. So what we're used to seeing the jumping needles, but that doesn't always mean that the compressor is not bad. Depending on the type of compressor, they fail different. So that's That's not a rule of thumb for all of them, but it seems like exactly what Anthony said. If the gauge was good, we'd be expecting something like that. But your
Mhm.
equipment seems like it's bad.
I would agree. I would agree. Have an AC.
I got
I
AC
ha-
fresh right now, fellas. I just got done with the ASE testing today.
I've been
I got
doing
AC
AC all
problem.
day today.
Right now. This gentleman's complaint. What was his complaint? His complaint, he said that the AC is a cutting in and out. And when I pulled it in, it was just blowing warm. But when I hooked the machine up to it, the high side pressure was like almost 300 psi. And
It's
I'm
a
like, well,
restriction.
let me evacuate this. And I pulled out like 2 pounds, 4 ounces. And that's way too much for this system. So I'm like, let me put the right amount in, and it's blowing cold. So I think I have something. I see green all over the place, but I don't know if this is customer tried using a can and a can douched all
Everywhere.
over. I don't know. So I got
Was it
some
short
unknowns. I
cycling?
gotta.
Being that fully charged, was it short
Yes,
cycle?
it was. It was. But it was. It was
Well,
blowing cold afterwards. So
if you pulled out too much, you said it was overcharged, right?
yeah.
So it wouldn't have been short cycling then.
Well, I don't know if there's something wrong with the compressor because I have a bunch of green down where the halves come together,
Yeah.
but it's not wet. But when I
Yeah.
pulled the vacuum down on it, it bled up just a little bit, and I was looking at the lines, but where the green was, there was no lines. It was like on the K member. So it's like, is there like a pressure relief on these compressors? If it
I
over,
I think there isn't there?
is
But it's
there?
at like I think when if it pops off, it pops off at like what is it, 425 or
I
450 or
don't
something like that.
know. I was wondering because it's kind of in that area.
300 is high, especially for where you're working on it at. It should only be twice about. I tell everybody just a rule of thumb is like two times ambient temperature plus or minus humidity factors into that. But 300 where you're at, that's way too high. And then overcharge, that makes sense.
Hmm.
Green all over the place is going to make it hard to diagnose. What was the low side doing?
Low side was at
Should have been high too.
yeah, it was like 100.
Yeah, that makes sense. So overcharge condition.
Hey.
High, low, high, high.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in a perfect world, like if everything was perfect, wouldn't it be like 250 and then like 40 on the low side? Isn't that what it is, Rich? In a
I
perfect
mean,
world,
it just all
or Rain
depends.
Man?
Like here,
That's my sweet spot. If I see 40 and 250, it's good.
Perfect.
here we don't always get that. And to say it's perfect, I don't know that I would say that because based on where you get your temperature chart or your information, it's ballpark. Yeah. So here during the day, 90. So 2 times ambient temperature is 180. So I'm expecting somewhere between 180 and 200, and my low side somewhere between 35 and 45. If I can get it closer down to 30, typically it feels a little icier to me.
Mm-hmm.
Those are normal numbers to me, around 200, 180 to 200, and my low side right around 35 to 45.
Off subject. Hey, A-Rod, Jeremy's in here. He said hi.
Oh.
Expect.
He's up in here. He's in the chat.
Yeah, he's watching. He's still at work, but he's watching.
Oh, heck yeah. What's up, buddy? What's up? What's up? Ooh, somebody's getting a DCR tomorrow. Ooh.
How are those doing? I would expect them to be sold out.
They're flying off the shelves from what I hear. They're doing
They've
really
already
well.
proved it eats water real well too.
Really?
Hazel.
Yeah,
Yeah, no doubt.
big time.
Maybe I'll ask after. I don't know.
Just go watch SNS's latest video.
Okay. All right. I will.
Yeah.
I like that.
Let's just say people's favorite fuel system to replace the factory system is not the system you should be using.
Yeah, with
Mm.
no
Starts
water
with
drain.
Starts with an F and ends with an S.
Come on.
Not only do they have no width, but the filters are metal in the center. So when there's water in it, they rust.
Ah.
Oh.
See, I had to do this one. I don't know where my finger is. That one. But
Fingering the fuel.
yeah, that one. Well, you can't see it, it's under my shoulder. But I was gonna put one of the new ones on there, but it's weeks out. I can't even get one right now.
Oh,
Well, it looks
So
like
I
there
can't
will be.
I can't just let it sit there. So I ended up putting a new pump in it anyway.
oh,
Sounds like you need to become an S&S dealer.
Sounds like you need to stock some, buddy.
You know what? I think both of you are right.
uh-huh.
Sounds like you need
Uh-huh.
it sounds like somebody needs to see the value in having a couple on the shelf. So when the next one goes out, you ain't waiting weeks.
So what's your definition of a couple? Like two?
Maybe
Yeah.
4 or 5.
Nah, because
Okay.
I got 32. I got 32 of them that I got to do. So
Oh. Well, I
Whoa.
told you to call Tim. He's going to get you hooked up. He can.
1, 2, a couple of few, 3, 4, skip some more, line them up. 36 it is.
You wouldn't want
I'm
to
gonna do a
wait.
video be like, it's my whole part shelf. It's nothing but fuel pumps.
Nothing but
Ooh.
DCRs. Hey,
With that, with that money coming back from Ford, you should just turn around and reinvest it into an S&S dealer.
oh, what happened with that? Are we going
Yeah,
there?
about that.
Oh, he was on mute.
About that. Yeah. So corporate or Ford was not happy with the dealership, and Ford is refunding me 50%, which is better than nothing. But it
Right.
should have never made it that far anyway.
I
Right.
agree.
I made it all the way up to, we'll just say a supervisor. And then I was like, you know what? Let me speak to your supervisor. This is their name. I'd rather talk to her. I know you have 4 more other than her. And he was kind of like, I can't give it to you, but I'll have them contact you. Well, I never got a contact from them. I got a contact from the guy I initially talked to. And he was like, yeah, we're going to refund you. So it was
That's
a whole
how
shit
that
show.
works.
It
Yeah.
escalated pretty quickly
Very quickly. Very quickly.
after start throwing names around.
But see, the funny thing is, it's like, how does this guy know my supervisor's names and then the supervisors of those supervisors? How does he know their names?
Does he know somebody on the inside?
I think they figured it out pretty quick.
I think so.
DCR. Anyone running? A couple guys have the pusher. We put a pusher one on. That was that came out really nice. We
I'm
did
put
a-
on some kind of pipe kit this weekend, but I don't know which one.
You don't know if you got a pusher or not?
Don't know. I told him pusher or HSM is your best bets.
What Bruce, what was the first thing that you've done to your Power Stroke?
Yeah, when I first got it, the first thing I did is I put that remote bypass oil filter kit on it.
Nice.
Okay.
You know,
Did you do it
I didn't
yourself?
want to mess. I had to mess with the emissions on the 6.4 right from the start. I brought the thing home and I backed it in my garage, and there was about 18 inches of flame coming out of the tailpipe, and it sounded like a Saturn booster. And I even shut it off, and it kept flaming and smoking. There was always something wrong with it. So, you know, I got rid of the cat. I got rid of the diesel particulate filter. I put blockers on you know, up on the block for the EGRs and blah, 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 and put a tuner in it, and it ran okay. You know, it was okay. I was much better off with my 7.3. I had a 6-speed manual in it.
Wow.
I could get it wound up and ready to go through the hills, and it ran just fine. So I just lost my head one day. The 08 was such a pretty truck. I just bought it. I don't know why I did that. But you know, I mostly live in Florida, so my vehicles never see ice and snow like that poor nasty stuff you're driving around.
Oh man.
And so they gave me $30,000 for it. I was 16 years old at the dealership when I traded it in. And
Wow.
I think I probably paid 55 for it, which was a lot of money back in 07.
Back then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. What color you got now?
I got black.
Long bed, short bed?
Black. Yeah, I had to call them back extra and say, wait a minute, I have to change the color to black. I saw this guy named A-Rod's got this black truck. I got to have one. So I got a black truck, black with black, and the interior is black and it's trimmed in black. And
Oh yeah.
the only thing it's got the chrome on it because it's got the Lariat chrome package.
Okay.
Got the
okay.
FX4 package on it?
But black is good.
Do you have the FX4 package?
Yeah.
Nice.
You got the
Yeah,
20-inch wheels?
What's that?
Got the 20-inch wheels?
No, it's 19 and a half on it because it's a 450.
Oh, you got a 450. Ah, okay.
it's a
So we
450.
got DS up in here. We got two 450 big boys.
You got the big boy.
Okay, okay,
Yes,
okay.
Next
It's so
question,
big,
is it
It's
Is it
so big it's got
430
its own
gears?
zip code. What's that?
is it 430 gears?
At 430, yeah.
Oh,
30 years.
My other truck ran 488s, and I never thought that was a bad thing. I guess it needed it with that kind of wimpy engine to pull in the hills.
Mm.
But yeah, the 430.
wow. What's the next thing you're gonna do to it? You got anything planned? You got any anything exciting?
I got a little shaking that comes and goes, and they've always done that when the road changes. So I had concentric wheel balancers on the other truck, and I left them on the damn thing. So I'm going to buy another set of them. I have them on my fifth wheel trailer. It makes a big difference. And so I'm going to put the concentric wheel balance on and balance the wheels too. You don't want to take the weights off the things. It does nice things like, you guys get like some snow or ice or something where it's been sitting overnight. You start driving in the morning, tires are still in balance. I mean, it won't take care of everything, but it really made a big difference. I liked it. And I run stock tires on it. I went to a non-stock tire. They were crap. I went back to whatever the Ford put on there originally.
The Conte Tax.
Yeah. They're smooth running. They last a long time. I got 115,000 miles out of the last set on the big truck. And that's
What do you got miles on it now?
Well, on the new one, I got 15. It just turned 15. So I just did the oil filter and all that other A-Rod stuff.
Excellent.
And
excellent.
The big truck like that's a lot easier than the ones that you've been doing because the filter's on the side of the tank. There's no strap. There's nothing in the way. You just pull the 8 millis up, drop it down, pop it back up.
Done.
It's all done.
Yep. That is kind of nice having the long bed fuel filter placement. Kind of, you're not underneath the truck. You can have the majority of your body on the outside. Just use your,
No fair. I got to be under the truck. No fair.
Oh, I know that sucks for you guys.
At the back. But I'll turn the little yellow knob and crack some of the 8 millis loose. Let it drain.
Yep.
I broke the tabs off that yellow drain on the tank. I remember I told you, and ate a lot of diesel till I figured that one out. I put the plug back in the tank and put a stick under it because it took my dealer 4 days to get me just that clap ass little yellow plastic cover. Nobody had one.
Really?
They're like made out of unobtainium.
Are you talking about what the cartridge is sitting in? That little yellow drain tab?
Yeah, when I drained it, every month, I must have pushed up on it when I was turning it down. I broke the tab on one side and I didn't notice it, and I guess the other side broke when I turned it, and I had my finger in the hole like the guy in the dike,
Should have emailed me, man. I'd have sent you a whole one. I got like 4 or 5 of them sitting on the shelf.
Well, I was smart enough to buy 2 of them, so I got one in the toolbox and one in the truck.
I've heard a lot of people breaking them, and I am still waiting for the day for me to break one. I don't know how you guys are breaking them.
I think I wasn't paying attention. I think I reached up underneath there and I pushed up on it and turned it at the same time. So those little tabs are trying to pull the thing down, and the O-ring's kind of hanging it up too. And I think between my fat hand and the O-ring, I managed to break the tabs on it.
Okay.
Hey, Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Whatever happened to that situation that we were talking about with I don't remember following up on it with your customer and the whole pump thing and high pressure pump, and you were like, I feel bad for putting this part on it, and this kind of happened and it cleared up this, and then we there was something else going on.
Yeah, we wound up
short out of
putting
I didn't catch them all.
we wound up putting a high pressure pump on it, and it fixed it. and he got to like Oklahoma. He was on his way to Flagstaff. He got to Oklahoma and said that it started fuel knocking and that it was blowing fuel smoke. Too much stuff come out the tailpipe. He'd sit there and ga 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 ga. Like, man, what's up, GT Chris? And it wound up clearing itself out. The number 4 injector had a code, and he said he's been trucking, had to go to Colorado, back to Idaho, to Vegas, to Georgia. I mean, he was going all over. So
Is he a hot shotter?
yeah, yep.
Oh, okay.
How about that? How about that one that you called me on?
Oh, yeah,
The
that one.
5.4F or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was a tricky one. Let me get GT Chris here. So I've replaced my new SNS fuel filter to replace the CP4 to DCR next week. Wish me luck. Yeah, dude, no brainer. Follow our video. It take you right for it. And SNS's instructions were phenomenal. Daddy Diesel, I am. Color, they were stapled in the middle. Everything was numbered. Arrows and stuff was circled. They did a great job. And I thought, we're trying to get Wade from Thoroughbred Diesel on here. We've been going back and forth in the comments. He had a really great way to hillbilly time, as he called it, the DCR pump, and it totally made sense. It was a really, really good idea. So we might have to do a little update to a video that we already did to show you guys, hey, check this out. Super easy to do. It was a good idea by Wade. So Eric, I do cars.
Are you talking about the gear on the front of the pump where you put the 2 hash marks in between the 1 hash mark?
Yep, but you're doing it off the nose of the DCR. There is a middle hole and a hole that's like off to the side, and you have to put that hole at the 630 position, which is 30 degrees before top dead center. But if you put the pump down flat and point the dot right at 6 o'clock, then when you hold the pump and orient it how it's going to sit in the engine, it's right where it needs to be. So it was like,
but what about the cam gear? How
you're
do you
going to
know?
turn the
You're going to turn it.
cam,
Okay,
and that's what's going to line up with that.
gotcha.
So
It actually
and
sounds
it's specifically it's just for NVH, noise, vibration, harshness, NVH type. It's not for timing like, hey, I gotta adjust my distributor timing, ignition, not that kind.
Timing chain kind of timing. No, it's not.
Yeah, no,
6.7s don't have timing chains anyway, but
yeah. I have him stop in Buford for help. Let's see. Thoughts on stroker pumps? That Cody, what did they say that was? It was like
It was like 10% over or
I
something
think
like
that's
that.
what it was, yeah. What's up, Eric? I do cars.
Going on, guys?
What
Hello?
up?
Somebody's getting a new engine. Dun 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 dun.
I want a new engine.
Was telling them about mine and your thing, a little bit about mine and your deal, Eric, and how you hooked me up with that 6R80 and that 5 liter. And then I did some calling today. I called up UPR. They have a kit to go in the 85 Thunderbird to replace the K member, coilover setup, everything. And then that 5 liter Coyote and 6R80 pretty much just drops right in there. There's some minor fabrication. They say you're never going to have one single job just go completely smooth. There's going to be something there, but
I looked at that. I watched your video on that car. That thing's clean.
oh yeah, man, it's got a couple bubble spots, but other than that, I'm gonna rip everything out. Like as soon as I get your setup here, I'm gonna go ahead and start tearing into it and doing my thing. I think the first thing you got to do is you got to remove the F-150 front cover, and you have to put a Mustang front cover on it because there's an extra pulley and stuff you need. And then there's a couple minor things. Pull the K member out of it, put a tubular setup from like a 96 in there or UPR setup, and then you get like
you'll want some Mustang cams too.
I was going to say you're going to do the Mustang cams.
I'll swap the Mustang cams, but except I'm not just going to do Mustang cams. I'm probably going to go with like a stage 3, pretty choppy. That thing's going to be pretty gnarly when I'm done with it.
I know we talked the other day. It's actually just the intake cam that's different between the truck and
Yeah.
the.
Is it really?
Yep, just the intake cam.
Huh. It's amazing the power difference and where the power is different because of that.
Well, one's for torque and one's for horsepower.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And then
I
it said
get it.
you could change the whole profile of that engine a little bit by taking Gen 3 rods. I think it's Gen 3 rods, pistons, and crank, and put it in that Gen 1 setup, and then using the Gen 3 intake manifold on a Gen 1, and
Yeah.
maybe messing around with some of the or obviously camshaft stuff. But I'm also going to go ahead and use all the Ford Racing, try to get the Ford Racing billet timing chain set up, the guides, all that stuff, the billet oil pump with reliefs and stuff like the gears and stuff inside. It's all going to get done. Everything. It's going to be set up for something that would probably take somewhere around 15 to 1600 horse, but I'm not going to do it that way.
Yeah. I mean, that would make that car undrivable and completely useless. I mean,
Yeah.
I've driven a 600 horsepower Fox body and it's unnecessary. Like
You can't keep it on the road.
No, it's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
there's, and it's cool if you want to build a race car, but I don't think you're going to start that and turn that into a race car. You want it to be a
No.
fun cruiser.
It's going to be a cruiser. It's going to be a fun street car.
Yeah.
you doing phaser lockout?
I don't. I'm gonna do some more research on that. I know with phaser lockout, you're somewhat limited. Like you're stuck in a certain. I was reading up on it, and there was a dude that was like, "There's a pro and a con to that. If you want variable to be able to, it's hard for me to put it into words. Like it's gonna want to run a certain way all the time with a specific tune all the time with a phaser lockout versus." If you want to be easy on it and get better fuel mileage right now, but then really romp on it and be able to change things variably, you're not going to have that with phaser lockout. So just all depends.
Did that come out of a car or a truck, Eric?
It was a truck.
Okay, so if it came out of a truck, remember when I was telling you, Rich, do you have access to PTS?
I don't right now.
I was gonna say, if you know the VIN number of the car that it came out of, you can get the engine calibration number. Remember when I was telling you that we did that? Because the one
Yeah.
that we put in that Fox body came out of a truck, and we put the engine calibration to a Mustang. Because
Yeah.
It's not like I don't know anybody that works on Mustangs and trucks and stuff from time to time that can just real discreetly go look up some data.
Pink Taco Tuesday. Sup, gentlemen? Harbor Freight, baby. Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight's got some good stuff. Harbor Freight's got some bad stuff. Harbor Freight's got some good stuff.
Dude, they're trying, man. They're trying hard. Their new what is it? The Hercules. It's not like the Hercules XT or something like that. It's their new horsepower or their new higher torque line and stuff like that. When that was on that torque test channel, it did pretty dang good. It was up there quite a bit with those bigger like impacts and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, this thing. And then he ranked the Thor air hammer up there with like snap-on and everything. And I think even in one category or two categories, it beat it or something like that. And I saw every time I go to Harbor Freight I bought, one of my guys did some work for me on the weekend. And I said, you want cash or you want me to buy you a box? And he was like, man, I'd really like one of those new, like really nice gray boxes with the black accents. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pre-order him a box. Take care of my guy. He was already paid for the week. He was already paid for the weekend. I gave him the day off paid anyway. And then I said, why don't you come out to my house and I'll pay you on top of what you already been paid. And I ended up getting him like a $300 box from Harbor Freight, just a roll around box. And when I was there, I was just looking at everything. And I said, you know, every time I come here, that Thor air hammer that they did that test on is sold out all the time. All the time.
Really?
They never have it anymore. And they had one of them on the shelf and I should have grabbed it. And I did not grab it.
Should have scooped it up.
I
I
did.
did order a rigid though, Rain Man, and he's not at his computer. But
I just bought a new box actually for shop tools about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I saw that.
My guys have been rating I don't know what they take and they just take stuff. And then until I need it, I don't know that it's gone. So
Yeah.
I did a bunch of digging and I found that if you buy the international brand toolbox at Home Depot, it's actually a Husky box. It's just got a different logo on it. And they were closing some out, and then I bought a coupon for like $23 online for another 15% off. I walked out of the door with a 52-inch toolbox for, I think it was like $507. It's got power. It's a nice box for $500. You can't even.
What
Yeah, I
color?
saw it on your, it was nice. Yeah.
What color?
I bought a green one, of course.
Gotta be vibrant.
Well,
Fiber.
gotta be the one that they had.
I'm gonna send you a sticker to put on that box.
Okay.
Are you gonna put it on your box?
I mean, which box we talking about?
Oh.
I have one at home and I have one at work.
Both. I'll send you two. How about you can't get out of this?
All right, fair.
All right, how about this fuel system?
Okay,
Look.
P054F. I have a giant 80-foot long, I mean, it looks like it's 80-foot long, 42 passenger
Oh, you're talking about.
shuttle bus, and the drive shaft's got midship bearing, midship bearing, midship bearing, midship bearing, midship bearing, midship bearing, midship. And this, I do not want to take this thing down, but this P054F keeps coming back, and it's fuel idle adjustment at like its max or something. So I wind up doing the pinpoint test M and ME, and it has you active command and look for fuel flow from the PCV after commanding the VCV close, and it passes. Customer's being super cool. Can't really leave it a bunch of times because he's got events to use the vehicle with. So he takes it, brings it back, light comes on, same code. And what I stumbled on, this is the first time that's ever happened to me, is the test parameters that is setting this code is looking for changes in RPM, and it makes fuel adjustments on decel. I am not hitting that RPM, and I was actually doing the torque converter stall test today, and it wants greater than 1500 RPM, and I'm only getting 1326. So I'm like, really? Did it, had to do some more stuff to another vehicle, let it sit, took it back out, did it again, checked it the next day, and this is the fourth time that it has consecutively failed this torque converter stall test. So normally you would think you'd have this fuel code, you'd be having something with a high pressure fuel pump. It's kind of got me thrown for a loop until I started looking at and bouncing ideas off of other techs, how this 54F is setting, and stumbled on there's a database that we can look at when we punch in your VIN to the Professional Technician Society. It's a vast pool of information where we look at your workshop manual and wiring diagrams.
Self-help
And
tool.
It has a self-help tool that we can kind of plug in all of the customers' symptoms, and it'll populate different stuff. And there were some reports of other technicians having the same kind of thing, where there was a RPM variation between the output of the torque converter and what it was supposed to be 1-to-1 with the engine. So it looks like I'm going to be doing a torque converter on this huge shuttle bus, and it's a 650/750. It's
Ain't no
got
fun.
double AC, and it has got fiberglass around the whole part of the front of the truck. You can't stand on the bumper because it's all fiberglass. It's not a steel chrome bumper. Same thing with the steps. Same thing around the fuel tank. Oh my gosh, if you had to take this fuel tank down, oh Lord, I don't even know how you would do it with this body that's built around it. And to make things even worse, like I want to look at things without having to lift it up. It's so the ground effects hang so low, I can't even slide underneath it. Not even with a creeper, sliding on the ground. So you're really forced to drive it up on like some ramps just so you can get underneath it, or have a column, a lift that you see us use. lift, huge vehicles at each corner. So first for me, just because I haven't seen it doesn't mean it can't happen, but torque converter for a fuel
How does that
system
work with
concern.
you, Aaron? Would that be an upgraded package or, a modified package for whatever the company needs on that chassis? Do you get paid all the extra time on the diesel side with, removing extra stuff like that? And do you just supplement it with M time?
Oh yeah, it'd be M time if you had to take the fuel tank down, and that fuel tank, whatever part I'm going is covered. Well, to get to the fuel tank, I'd have to take blah 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 blah, blah off to get to the Ford component. So we run into it a lot of times when we have aftermarket stuff with dump trucks and fire apparatuses and ambulances and tow trucks. That tow trucks were a big one. The rollbacks and it sucks because a lot of these things will have PTOs on the side of them. So you pull the trans out and you got this little kind of motor with two really rigid lines. You can't just like pull it off the side of the trans. If you take the lines off, all the hydraulic fluid drains out. So it's like, do you leave it hooked to the trans and pull the trans out all as one? And luckily, there are no 4x4 650, 750s. So I do have that. And there's a little more room to actually, you can see all the bell housing bolts. You're able to get your 3/8 snub nose up around every single one of them. So, it is big and cumbersome. I do got a little more room, but I want to talk about it when I get it out because I can't really take the torque converter apart. It's a little, let me screen share. Cody, you want to pull up like what a torque converter? Maybe people who are listening don't know what the guts of the torque converter does, I should say. It's taking torque and converting it into the transmission. And we have a little device in there that's kind of like a little fluid coupler. And when it spins, he'll show you.
I just did this the other day.
Cut it open.
Huh?
Cut it open.
Yeah, are you gonna cut it open?
Yeah, if it was cash, but it's warranty, I got to send it back. So I don't think they're going to want to get that torque converter in two different pieces.
I just weld it back together.
I found the problem, guys. It's right here.
All I know is it thing is going to be heavy.
Yes,
them things
Send
are.
them the bad part out of the torque converter.
Yep, this is it. Right
I found it.
While he's pulling that up, I got one for you. I was riding around with my fleet driver, and she said that it was shifting erratically. Okay, so I'm riding around and I'm monitoring everything, and it's shifting fine. After about 10 minutes of riding, it's a 6R 140. Yeah, 6-speed. After riding around for about 10 minutes, we were sitting at a light. It shifted to 4th gear by itself while we were sitting still. It would not come out of 4th gear. The gear, you know how you can see them on the dash? It went 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I looked on the IDS. It literally shifted 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm like, whoa.
Got something wrong with that valve body?
Yeah.
Damn. Torque converter, planetary. We got a trans guy at work, and he is a freaking wizard. He's talking about this and clutching. Man, dude, I'll just give it to you. You want me to take it out for you, bro? I'll take it out. I do have no interest in taking it apart. Oh, I love 10 speeds. They're my favorite. Dude, take them all, man. I'll take it out and put a bow around it for you as I bring it over
I
to you.
just had my guy do a lead frame in a 6.2 Raptor, and when he pulled it out, he thought you're supposed to pull all the bolts out of the valve body, and he pulled all the bolts out of it. And when he went to go drop it down, it came apart in pieces. And I was like, no.
Wow,
So
that's
I
a
had to
sweet stand. Go back to that stand. I want to see that stand.
I had to build it on the front counter while waiting and checking out
Where
customers.
does that exist?
That is a diesel engine stand.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that
guess
is in the-
that OTC. No, that's the hanger.
Noco.
That is
Norco.
in the parts room at the dealership.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That is
Like
pretty cool.
underneath, right underneath, like the tail shaft of the trans,
Eric, imagine how easy
there's
that
a
would be.
a hand little nut, and that thing will slide open and close, so you can put the engine in and then
Yeah.
slide it together to bolt it to the.
Wait, in,
That would be
Eric,
awesome.
wait until Eric starts taking apart transmissions on his channel when he's done
I'm
with
not,
all his
I'm not
engines.
that guy. I'm not that.
Eric, wait until you see that. He's got that coming up next, guys.
I
You
mean,
want one?
I'll do.
I'll send
I'll
you
do a
one.
manual. I'll do a manual. I'm not doing. There's all kinds of alien software and stuff inside of those. I can't.
Well,
Automatics
tell
is
me about
just
it,
a
you
man.
can get it apart.
Yeah, but I don't know what
Yeah,
I'm looking at. I can't be like,
You-
this is
you
good.
get
this
the
is
thing
bad.
apart, but you're not. You
We're
probably
gonna
can't.
throw it all.
automatics is just a trash can, a planetary, ring gear, the sun gears, and
I
clutch
mean,
packs.
I've had them apart.
Wait. What is
before.
this trash can you speak of?
Yeah.
Go back
what
up,
is this?
Cody. Go back
Yeah,
up. The trash
show
can.
him that big torpedo looking thingy.
The trash can. It's what everything sits inside of.
The
Okay.
10R140s are better.
10R140
Is that called a
And the-
drum?
and the 10R. We call it trash can.
Oh, okay.
And the 10R140 and this and the 10R and the F-150s and stuff.
But it's been so long since I had one of those valve bodies apart. I took a couple pieces of cardboard and put it on the front counter, and then made them find all the pieces that came out of it, and then I built it up on the front counter and got it all put back together, and then shifted perfectly. But I was like, don't
Right
ever.
there's trash can.
What do they
ever
call
do
it? What's
that again.
55? What's 55?
55.
They call it a trash can.
Clutch planetary assembly.
Yeah.
That's what Eric's gonna call it from now on.
That's it. Next time I pull one of those out, that's what it's called.
Hey, there's the trash can right there.
It
Yeah.
literally
I'm
looks
gonna
like
feel-
a little
I'm
trash
literally
can.
gonna take it and throw it in the trash can after that.
Throw it
Look
over
at
your
the
shoulder
clip.
into the trash can.
It's
Yeah,
I
what
had
the
to get
clutch
it-
packs.
you
hey,
don't need this.
I used a
Clutch packs hold
Dorman.
to it.
I used a Dorman lead frame because Ford has now updated again near us that it's on international back order, and they have
Oh,
no idea when
Christ.
we can even touch one of these or the lead frames. They have no idea.
That's how it is for my torque converter that we're just talking about. I had two choices, either a reman or a brand new one, and this is warranty, so we got to use the new one. And
That's how it is for an intake for a 2017. I had to text Cody about today.
Back
smell the
order.
bean. Look at that thing. I like the color. The color chart.
You can kind of see the impeller and the turbine in there.
Mhm.
There's not really a good
And
exploded
that
view
sucker
of it.
holds, man, like 4.5, 5 quarts of fluid. It's a heavy
yeah.
mama jumma. No lie. My coworker that we were just talking about, he has some really cool dowels that screw on to the studs, and you're able to pull with an assistant. Instead of putting your hands and into the bell housing like they want, but like they want you to flip this thing upside down and use a cherry picker to pull that thing out. It's that heavy.
Yeah, they definitely don't want you putting your hands in there.
Yeah, I seen the trans guy. Or our trans guy, whenever he'd do it, he'd get
This is
that.
how
Wow.
Yeah,
you
like
do it.
that adapter right there just hooks over to the end of it and just. And it doesn't always come out either. Like a lot of people think it just comes right out. Sometimes you got to fight that sucker to get it out of there.
Mhm.
What does one of those transmissions weigh?
1,000 pounds.
Yeah, I would say
Maybe
something.
not 1,000 pounds.
Yeah,
I was gonna say probably close to 700 pounds, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe 700
Big-
pounds.
650, 700 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
And they are
Wow.
massive.
They said install a 12mm combination wrench.
Yep. Works great. Works great.
But he's had the trans guy has had to ask us to come over there and help him. He's like, man, I can't get this thing out of here. Can like one guy stand on one side and you stand on the other, and we'll just rock this thing back and forth and try to jar it around and try to get it to pop out of here. And 2 or 3 guys later, then the damn thing comes out, and it's like, what the hell, man? Heavy.
Seeing if I can.
That one time I broke the faceplate on the 10R1 or the 10R80 on a Ranger. Because you know how the torque converter's got it's got the little grooves in it, torque converter does, and it fits in the grooves inside the front faceplate.
There
I
we
stuck the
go.
torque converter in, but it wasn't in all the way. They bolted it up to the engine and it broke it.
Oh,
It took me, 2 other senior masters, and an oil change guy to sit there with pry bars and like holding it on the rack to pop it out.
ouch.
Hey, it's starting to storm a little bit here again, guys. I'm gonna jump off of here.
All right, homie.
All
Be
right.
safe.
Something,
Right,
something
dude.
just fell on
Later.
the roof back there. I'm gonna go see what it is. So, all right, guys,
Catch
take
you
care.
later.
Good night.
Later.
Look at that torque converter. Fluid coupler thingy that weighs a lot. There's a lot of mass spinning too. Whew. Talk about robbing some horsepower.
That's why they
Is
have
this-
a clutch in them now.
Is using to transfer rotating power from the engine of a vehicle to the transmission. It's a mechanical clutch.
That's why they got the torque converter clutch, so they can lock in the
TCC.
lock it in so it's 1-to-1 with the engine. Gets better fuel economy.
So, notches in the pump. Yep.
Torque
It's a
converter
little
lockout.
little tricky putting it in. I try, man. I think I've gotten it a couple times. I usually have to call my coworker over and be like, dude, come on, man, get this last one in for me. Donk, donk. Yeah, that's one thing, unfortunately, don't have to replace a lot of, but in this instance, this is where the testing has led me. And speaking of trans, I have you guys remember the truck that I replaced the diff on, and it had that pin in the differential that was kind of walking back and forth? Well, the truck has something going on with the transfer case, and by golly, you put this thing down in 4x4, talk about racket. This is a 22 with 17,000 miles on it. I drained the oil out of the transfer case and it looked like diesel oil. And that should be nice and red like trans fluid. For one, that's not really being used and it shouldn't be burned looking. So there's something fishy going on, and I have a suspicion that there's either a bearing that's failed, or hopefully I can just put a transfer case in it, which I don't know. Is the transfer case going to be covered under LTIS, or is that not a powertrain covered
EFC says engine and transmission.
only? So I guess then either you're going to have to be rebuilding, or you're going to have to replace per what you find.
Personally, I'd just replace it.
Wonder if it's the chain or if it's the what's the word I'm thinking of? It's almost like a differential inside there. You've seen inside of them, obviously, but I don't
This
know what
one's
would
all
cause it.
silicone. I've never peeled one of these ones apart.
I wonder
And they're
why it would
cheap.
be
They're like $600 too.
for a transfer case.
Yeah.
What?
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you have to, you looked that up, right?
I think the
what?
decimal's in the wrong port.
The
Man.
whole transfer case is
The
$600.
whole thing, bro.
What year?
What's the application?
Yeah, I know, right?
250, 6.2, 5R, 6R, 110,
What year?
I don't know about that.
17.
I'm looking it up right now.
I mean, if that's the case, I'm gonna go buy everyone I can, and then they're gonna go on back order, and then I'm gonna turn around and sell them for $1,000 or $1,200.
He just got it quoted, and he's like, man, this thing was $600.
Light truck, 17 or 16?
It was a 17. His was, mine's a 22. Same engine, same trans.
Well, transfer case, it really doesn't matter between a 250 and 350.
No,
Manual or
Nope.
automatic?
auto.
Because yes, they still make manual transfer cases.
Thank God.
But they have shifter cables on them now.
Are we talking about 10 speeds crappy shifting? No, but if you have a 10 speed wheels in wilderness you probably have a 22 EO4 that needs to be performed. So I would either come see me or visit your local dealer and have that done, because they will be reprogramming your TCM, which is going to give you the latest calibration software for the trans, and it's going to relearn the new ship points and strategies and everything. So I would get that done. You probably got a letter in the mail, I would assume last week, or if not, tomorrow. Cody's got us
Share.
on the cliffhanger.
There's a bunch of different ones. So retail.
Oh, I don't know which one he got. I thought that was cheap.
I mean, that's still cheap. $1,150 is still cheap for a transfer case.
Unless that's a new one and he was quoting a reman. which I don't-
Look at that one.
Oh my
Come
god.
on.
No. Unless it's just the case with no guts inside of it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
I can't imagine that. They have to have an assembly price. And somebody,
Come
Because I was gonna say,
on.
I tried to order a transmission. They were like, "Yeah, $1,500." I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." And then I was like, "Wait a minute,
I
$1,500
mean, dealer
for a
cost is
transmission?"
$1,100. So
Yeah, there's no way.
It went from $1,500 for a transmission to $4,100, and they were like, "Oh yeah, they quoted you the case with no guts." And I was like,
What the?
"Yeah, why would you do that?"
Somebody else's fault. Like,
Yeah, I know, right?
you,
Why would you-
Joe, it's your problem.
Why would you quote me a case with no parts?
well, sometimes stuff happens. You need a case.
The case was fine. The parts were bad on the inside. So what am I
Then
going
you
to
buy
do?
the inside
case.
parts.
I'm gonna be in the same boat, man.
It'll be clean though.
definitely just put a
Um,
case in the thing. Not even worry about it.
I just saw something for Jeep today,
Jeep?
and I thought a Cliff, but hold on, I'm gonna screw it up. Oh shit. Just empty every pocket. It was a sticker on the back window. I'm like, you know what, Cliff? Yeah, it serves you right, you little Jeep.
Ask
Jeep.
him about his windshields.
What
That'll
happened to
empty his
this?
every pockets.
What's wrong with his windshields?
Clipped it again. Chipped it again.
What are you doing, man?
This is like my 5th one this year.
Why?
So they don't last.
Because he's not using Rain-X.
Take
No,
out
it's
all them
because they're-
silly ducks you got on
It's
the
because they're
dash. That's
flat.
why.
They're not curved, just a flat windshield.
Hmm. Hmm. This guy's a classic windshield. Hey, Rod, the Super G exhaust reprogram recall you have talked about. Didn't you say an update just came out for it again? Yeah, this was for 20 plus. So no spending on new toys. Yeah, I feel you on that. All of you guys here are such a wealth of knowledge. Been a mechanic for 35 plus years now, and I still absorb every tip and trick you folks show us. Thank you all so much. Roger that, Echo One. We appreciate you guys for coming out and hanging with us. We have a channel member with us tonight, Bruce. He's now, proud owner of an investment that he spent his hard-earned money on, and he's come to the channel to find good ways to spend his money and look towards truthful insight when talking about these trucks. And we get so many conflicting answers and stuff that people find online that just absolutely make no sense. But we set them straight with the information that we're provided from Ford, and if we can help you guys try to tackle a repair or get your truck warranted, because it really is under warranty, just like what Bearded Ford Tech is going through or was going through with his ambulance. There's so many things that we have to go through in order to make sure your vehicle's under warranty for like fuel systems and stuff. So remember, ask to see your parts. If I'm going to spend $15,000 with you guys, and you need a fuel system. Okay, fine. I need a fuel system. I'm doing a happy dance. Okay, fine. I want to see the VCV that was from out of my truck. I want to see a fuel sample. I want to see the PCV. I want to see the rust. Don't tell me because I have a 0087 or 2291 and you're not even going to take anything apart. Just tell me I need a fuel system. No, And I think that's what's happening in some of these cases, and probably what happened to Bearded Ford Tech. A lot of these guys will just see the codes and get all fuel system. I got a fuel system, and just take advantage of the customer. So sucks. That's why we're all here. I appreciate you guys. Friday's video is going to be talking about just that. We go over verbatim the GSB that we have to look at. I'm kind of excited for you guys to check it out because so many people go through this, and whether it's over the life of the vehicle and having water ingested, or you put death in your truck and didn't realize, and oh man, either way, that's not good.
That GSB, I literally had that in my hand when I went to go talk to these people. And I said, I want to see the VCV. I want to see the PCV. Show me the fuel tank. If there's that much water in it that you're telling me, both of those things should be covered in rust. The pictures that I sent you, the pictures that I sent Cody, yes, obviously there's metal on it. And that's all I could say is it's contaminated with metal. Well, obviously because the fuel system failed. It's going to have metal flakes on it. Okay. So you guys got to be armed with this stuff. You got to know, like Aaron said, let me see the parts. Take them out. Let me see them.
That's it. Got to ask.
I had a warranty question before you go away.
Yeah.
Should I ever get the truck back to the dealer? You had talked something about a TRM update in the last year on my truck. I can't find any information on anything on it, but should I take it to a dealer, would I be advised to remove the pedal monster and the wicked warnings light module? Is that all non-warranty stuff that they don't want to see on there? It'll show up.
The pedal monster's plugged into the OBD, so maybe just unplug it and throw it up underneath the dash so there's nothing hanging. But no, you wouldn't have to disconnect anything. Absolutely not.
I don't want to violate somebody's sense of order.
No, yeah, absolutely not. There's no reason to remove it from your truck.
The fact that my truck has a CCV box, which is on the 2023s, does that mean it's possible that it has other 2023 equipment, such as the trailer navigation that I can't turn on? How am I going to discover if that's in there?
Probably not. That would be just like a engine design changes that they were starting to make to get in ready for 23. Like there will be that CCV box.
Basically them running out of parts on the assembly line and just start putting 23 parts on it.
Yeah.
As far as the navigation goes, I know DS, are you still awake with us? Or have you gone out to pasture? And I think he's out to pasture. I think did he have the navigation on there? I can't remember, but there was something that he had to do to get that stuff working on his.
Well, I guess I need to get a hold of him sometime or talk to him or get back on when he's around.
Yeah, he's indisposed right now. We apologize.
I thought an easy way to do it would be through the CarPlay. Although I have this kind of navigation on my phone, CarPlay will not allow that to go through onto the truck. CarPlay only allows iPhone programs. And those are not iPhone programs, that navigation with the trailer navigation. So there's no way to trick the truck into giving you the information that you want.
Yeah, because that would only be Apple, just the Apple function.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the Apple phone will run it, but it will not run it through CarPlay on the truck.
I wish I had a big screen.
Does the owner's manual say it has trailer navigation?
Well, my manual says it has trailer navigation. Simply says go to navigation, push menu, push turn trailer navigation on. There is no trailer navigation on. And I called and one of them said, well, that was for the 2023 trucks. So why is it my 22 manual? I said, well, we don't know that. So I didn't know if it was something that was simply not turned on, like A-Rod turned on the operator controlled regen for me. I mean, it was always there, it just wasn't turned on.
Yeah, that was under programmable parameters, right, Aaron? Or under SCR.
You know, when I'm running around town, it regens about every 350 to 400 miles, but I just came a little over 4,000 miles, not a single regen, and it stayed at 0, but it went through almost 8 gallons of fluid. So when it's under load, it must be
It sprays, it does.
eating a lot. At least it's keeping it clean.
That's important. It
Yeah.
wants heat. It wants heat. Heat is what keeps the filter clean. And a lot of guys who baby their trucks and don't want to.
So
Idle.
Yeah.
Oh God.
it's apparently able to clean itself without a regen pulling that trailer all the time. So
Yeah,
like I
it's
said,
passive. It's doing a passive regen.
the passive is what's kept it going. That's what cost me all the
I'm gonna assume that's Sync 4, right? The big screens.
Roger that. Roger that. Skidoo, I think we should try another APIM update. And this time I think we should leave it running. We're gonna try something, Skidoo.
Are you doing that update USB or Wi-Fi?
With FDRS.
I tried doing my APIM update with FDRS. It wouldn't work. I had to do a USB.
Interesting. All right, well, we'll end it there. We're going to brainstorm about some other things we have going on, but until next time, Friday, we will see you. We have a great one in the oven, a great bun in the oven, because this is something that I think you guys are going to be interested in talking about, because I'm tired of you guys getting the sheets pulled over you. If you got any questions, reach out to the email. Make sure to check out Ray's channel and I Do Cars. We got DS at Sleeping, and CP's Garage just released a pretty sweet video short today. You might want to put your earphones on because you might
turn it down a little bit.
Turn it down a little bit. All right, everybody. Bruce, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. If you got any questions, you know where to find me. Everybody else, till next time. See ya.
appreciate your time. Thank you.